Why, hello there. Thanks so much for joining us for the Long Comics Book Club, a bi-weekly podcast about long comics, also known as manga and graphic novels. My name is Shane, and I'm the older brother. I'm joined by Spence, the younger brother.
Hello.
Spence, hello.
Hello,
How
hello.
how are you? We
Uh,
have we have done our inaugural short hiatus. We are
yep.
2 weeks late.
Yep. Life stuff has happened, and you know what? Let's just not worry about it. And we're
Yeah.
here, we're recording again. It's all good.
We move forward. For anyone that was really worried about us, don't worry, I'm okay. It was a positive change in a housing situation for me and a pending positive change in family size, also both positive. But boy, those things together do
Yeah.
not allow me to prioritize a podcast for
Nope.
for good reason. So it's all good on this end of things, but it does mean that for our exciting 10th episode, we get to
Mm,
be late for the first time,
yep.
uh, which is very exciting. I feel like it was inevitable. We've been talking about for months that this was going to be challenging to be on time for this episode. So there you go. It was written in the cards, but we're
Okay.
here. We're
Yep.
doing it. That's the main thing. And yeah, 10 episodes. How exciting.
Yeah.
How's it feeling? Did you realize it was episode 10 today?
No, I did not. Not in any way, shape, or form. But hey,
Wow. Well
that's
then
cool. I
exciting to pass that along that we're
yeah.
hitting double
Th- This
digits.
this should have been something I looked up on, but I know like in terms of successful podcasts, most of them last don't even, like are out by for their fourth one, so we've already made it to 10. That's pretty
There you
impressive.
go. Look at us go. We're
Yeah.
doubling the industry standard.
Yeah.
The other thing I was debating exploring today as a new podcast format was no edits because I'm still extremely busy. Can I get
What?
away with no edits? You'll find out. If you're listening and there's a long, awkward pause and you're like, this seems wrong, that's probably because Shane decided he didn't have time to do a full edit. But hey, that's kind of thrilling too.
But
You
you know
know,
what? And, you know, I'm sure it'll look great. And I'm sure if you didn't mention it, no one ever even would notice. So we'll see.
that's true. Yeah. Well,
Positive
so
thinking.
exactly. So there you go. If I miss things, it was intentional. We wanted to give you the raw, uncut version. This is the Zack Snyder of the Long Comics Book
Yeah.
Club, the
The
two and a
Snyder,
half hour version,
the Snyder cut.
The Snyder
Yeah.
cut. Yeah. All right. We are off to a roaring start, but if you're new to the show, thanks for joining us. So for the first half of the show, we'll be talking about the long comic we read over the past 4 weeks. So that would be Destroy All Humans. They Can't Be Regenerated. And after that, we'll give our reactions, takeaways, discussion points, book club things. And then for the second part of the show, we'll be chatting about some of the other visual media we've consumed recently. To make sure you avoid spoilers, we'll include time codes in the episode description. And of course, we'll then end the show with Spence introducing the long comic for the next podcast, which will be coming out on June 21st.
That's very brave of you to actually give a date.
Yeah, what can I say? We already goofed on the last one. This one, no, we're committing. June
Okay.
21st,
June
locked,
21st.
loaded.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, in case it is delayed, the best way to find out about that is to follow the Instagram. So go check out the Instagram at Long Comics Book Club. If you're not already following it, drop a follow. On that page, you can also find a link to our link tree where we have all of our different podcast links, including to VesperiaComics.com. Because Spence, of course, is the owner and proprietor of Vesperia Comics, not just an online store, but physically located at 1935 West Broadway, Vancouver, British Columbia. Spence, what are the updates from the shop?
Things are good. Things are good. It's yeah, not a ton of like big monumental stuff has happened despite the whole 2 week um time period. Nothing like hugely monumental has happened in that time, but
But
yeah,
it's always exciting at the shop, and
it's
there's
always
always things.
exactly.
There's
It's
always
always
new,
exciting. Yep.
and there's always new product.
Yep. New
And
stuff's coming in. It's but by the time you, I guess for when this comes out that week, there'll be new volumes of like Kaiju number 8 that comes out this week. And yeah, first first part 7 of JoJo that came out. That was a big surprising, big big successful new launch of one because for the first time ever, the JoJo English JoJo manga is now ahead of the anime.
There you go. And now's your chance to get in on the JoJo train.
Yep.
Uh, and if you're also wanting to find out about all these updates, why not go drop Spence a follow?
Yes.
What's your Instagram handle? I should give
It's
that a shout out.
Vesperia Manga and Comics.
There you go. Go
Yep.
follow Vesperia Manga and Comics. Follow Long Comics Book
Yep.
Club.
I'm sure if you look at like people you're following for the Long Comics Book Club, you'll probably find you're there following me.
There you go.
Yep.
And I mean, we're also not that irritating, I think, of accounts to follow. We're pretty low key.
Yeah. Oh
we're
yeah.
we're not trying to push anything or do anything weird. We're just doing our thing,
Oh yeah.
talking about nerd stuff. So,
Yeah.
check us out on
Yeah.
Instagram. Drop us a follow.
Yeah. If
And
I probably the most thing I comment is I post whatever new stuff I post like big whatever the new stuff comes in. And then
yeah,
take a photo of it. What's new, what's hot, what's happening.
yeah. So if you're wanting to be in the know, in the loop of what the new hotness is in the world of manga and comics, go check it out.
And models and figures and all the
And
other stuff you
models and
carry.
figures and all the other things that you carry. Yeah, let's not just limit ourselves to print media. Let's
Yeah.
expand beyond that. But let's jump back to print media. Let's jump into our book club of the past 2/4 weeks. Let's talk about Destroy All Humans. They Can't Be Regenerated by Katsura Issei, illustrated by Takuma Yokota. Uh, and really interesting book. No trigger warnings necessary. This is a manga. If you haven't read the book yet, but you want to avoid spoilers, this is your time to look at the time codes and jump ahead. If you haven't read the book but want to listen anyways, that's also excellent. Maybe this conversation will help you decide if it's worth picking up. Suspense. Destroy all humans. They can't be regenerated. Why did you pick this for our long comic?
Well, I think that one's very straightforward with this one. Me and you are massive Magic the Gathering fans. We both play a ton of it. We both have been playing it for like 15 years now. And this is they just decided to let's make a manga about Magic the Gathering. And unlike it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh or any of those. It's like just classic about kids playing Magic, and I just find that great. So, let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Why not, right? So
Yeah.
let's talk about it. So that's a really good point to start off with, is the fact that this book is not about the world of Magic the Gathering. There is already plenty of existing print media about that, including I was looking up, I guess there's also graphic novels and stuff about it as
Yeah.
well. No, this is about middle schoolers playing Magic the Gathering. So if you're not familiar with Magic the Gathering, it is a trading card game. It is both a collector's game as well as an actual competitive game.
Yeah.
Uh,
It
we
also,
norm-
for the record, it is the first trading card game. So it was the first one.
wow, I didn't realize it was actually the
Yeah,
first.
first
There you
one.
go.
It was the first trading card game, and still one of the largest ones in the world. It's been
Did it
going.
actually beat Pokemon?
It's one of the largest ones in the world. It's currently second place.
Oh, sorry, I meant like that it came out before
Oh yeah,
Pokemon.
significantly.
Oh, wow.
Pokemon's
There-
actually pretty late in the history of trading card games. Pokemon came during the huge boom that came after Magic.
Oh,
And when I say relatively
right.
late, I mean like 4 years after Magic, but like in the grand scheme of things, there was this time like in the mid 90s when just like everything had a trading card game.
Hmm. Yeah, that was us growing up. That's when
Yep.
all the trading cards are coming out. That's
Yep.
when everyone realized, hey, wait a second. If you turn collectible cards into loot boxes, aka that you can buy
Yep.
something and it's essentially gambling for children.
Yeah.
This is a lucrative way to make a lot of money.
Yep. And it kind of happened again the last few years. There's been like kind of a second
Yeah,
boon. Yeah.
it seems more predatory now than it did back then. I don't know if that's
Yes.
rose-colored glasses, but I'm also pretty sure it's way more predatory now
It's
than
more
it was
predatory, but
then.
it's also the people making the trading card games are better at it than they used to be. So like these
Yeah.
ones, there are still lots of them, and they're trying to be like they're trying to be like, oh, we're going to be the next big thing. You need to get in early. But back in the day, just there were so many more of them, and so many of them were just complete trash.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
the one that we are talking about, Magic the Gathering, is obviously the one we're gonna have a lot of side
Yeah,
discussions
and
on this.
also I would like to formally apologize to anyone who doesn't understand Magic the Gathering. This is going to be, we're going to try our best to explain this to everyone. At some point, we're going to slip up and go into like deep Magic ease at some point, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Potentially. Well, you never know. So that's my starting place with this one. So just like a general overview. So one, we're gonna start. The title is great. I love the title. It's very light novel. So if you're not familiar with Japanese light novel titles, they're like this. They're too long. They're like at least 6 to 7 words,
Yeah.
which is exactly this. Destroy all humans that can't be regenerated. It's a great title.
Yeah, but then also, of course, there's a super famous magic card called Wrath of God, which the text of that card is destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated.
Mhm.
So this is a direct reference to
Yeah,
that
so it's
card.
great. So it immediately calls out the fact this is about Magic the Gathering. So
Yeah.
good title, A plus. I knew that it was going to be about Magic as soon as I heard it. But in terms of the impact of that, what a strange manga. So the reason that apologizing to anyone who doesn't know Magic and that we might go into Magicese, this is not accessible to anyone who doesn't know
No,
Magic,
not at
which is
all.
I
But
was
they
shocked
try
by.
so hard. The amount of like little like every time there's an explanation, there's like a little mini paragraph in the corner of like this is
Mhm.
what this means, and it's like if you had to read all of these, this would be like so
It
much
still
harder.
wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So the problem, which makes this is one of the things where I read this. And I was like, how did this happen? How did this launch? And two,
How did it
how
get
is it
18
pop?
volumes?
Yeah, how is this popular? Like, this is not accessible unless you play Magic. And I know famously that Magic isn't that big in Japan. That's the other part that I'm like,
Okay, okay.
confused. Okay,
For
Magic
the
isn't
record,
popular compared to other
yes, that's the
TCGs in
thing. So
Japan.
Magic actually is quite popular in Japan. The thing is, trading card games are just insanely popular in Japan. So Magic's
Mhm.
like the sixth most popular trading card play in Japan, but Japan is still like the number two place for Magic,
Oh,
the United
right.
States.
I mean, I guess there is like a bunch of Japanese
Yeah,
Magic pros that have won big
yeah.
tournaments. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so that's was so surprising to me was that this is not meant to introduce anyone to the Magic the
No,
Gathering. So that would be
especially because it's specifically set in the 90s. So even if you're like up with modern Magic, you're not going to recognize any of the cards or anything. They're all
Mhm.
going to be like old school stuff.
Yeah, that's another part that's very funny when you're talking about sort of Magic being old and that's the inception. This is old Magic. This isn't recent Magic. This is old Magic
Yeah.
cards. The glory days, as some people seemingly refer to it, but makes it a really weird read. I for sure thought that it was going to be trying to like encourage people to get into Magic because that would sort of be what you would assume. That would be your
Yeah.
marketing strategy. Have this fun manga that gets people interested in Magic to get them to buy into it, but
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. Like a funny one to compare it to is there's this recent manga called Dog's Red. It's by the guy who read Golden Kamuy, if you know that one. And it's about hockey. And they do a way better job of explaining hockey and like they go more into it than Magic than this one does.
Well, that's good. Good on him for
Yeah,
explaining
I know because
hockey. I think that's important.
yeah, but
Mhm.
it's an example. It's like because in Japan people don't know how to play hockey, as like it's not
Mhm.
nearly as popular. It's
Well,
we're in Canada, but like so it's not even that popular compared to like the United States. But they go way more into like they're trying to be way more accessible with that one is than the ones directly like an advertisement for Magic.
mhm. I think that's also something very funny about Japan and manga is like just like the cultural power of it. Because I'm pretty sure that Kuroko no Basket, which is about
Yeah,
basketball, led to a spike in basketball popularity in
yeah,
Japan.
which is not even close though to the king of them all, which is Haikyuu.
Haikyuu,
Yeah,
which
Haikyuu.
is again about volleyball, which again caused a massive spike in popularity of
And like
volleyball in Japan.
a spike that like went from like literally no one plays volleyball to being it like the third most popular sport in Japan,
That's
entirely off the back
crazy.
of
Isn't
Haikyuu.
that so cool that you can have a manga create a sport cultural phenomenon in a
Yeah.
country of that's like
Hey,
of millions and millions of people get
we're
inspired to play
from
volleyball.
we don't live in Japan. We live in Canada, but I do have one friend who got into volleyball specifically because of Haikyuu.
There we go. Uh, yeah, Haikyuu is about volleyball, if that's not clear yet. It's also extremely good. So like it's not just this weird outlier. It's up there for one of my top anime. about this
Yeah.
high school
And if you
volleyball
want to get them,
team.
we have the manga at Vispedia Comics.
There you go. Nice. Good drop. Good point out. But Loop again, I mentioned already at the top, this is going to be a lot of sidebar episode. But man, the plot of this one. I mean, and its core, very straightforward. About a boy and who learns that the popular girl at school plays Magic the Gathering, and they start their romantic journey. Um, in volume one. Because she's keeping it secret. He is. I was actually surprised you didn't mention this to me that this character was actually specifically based on you
Oh, of
because
course.
because he thinks black is a man's color or something. I don't remember. It was
Yeah.
very oh, okay, this is Spence.
And,
This person is just Spence.
yeah, and he's even got like the scraggly hair and the glasses
And the
and
glasses, yeah.
the yeah,
And
really
he's
into
very
Final Fantasy.
loud.
What do you know?
Yeah. What do you know? Yeah, if you're wondering what Spence is like in real life, just read this book. And Spence is
To be
essentially,
fair, I've grown up a bit from what I was like this guy when I was 14. I've grown up a little bit since then.
he says, "Is I guarantee you're wearing black right now."
Of course, I'm wearing
So,
black right now.
yeah, and in case you're wondering, the Spirit comic shirts are black.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hajime Kanu is based on Spence, and his high school experience. But the what did you think of the? I'm very curious to hear what your thoughts are on the plot. I think the base plot good. I would like to know your thoughts on the end of the world portion of this
Yeah, that's just a
comic.
kind of a weird like thing. And it's also doubly weird because I've read up as far as the English release is going up, which is only up to volume 3 so far. And it's never mentioned again after this volume.
Are you serious?
Well, in like it's never mentioned in volumes 2 or 3. So I don't know.
That's bizarre.
Maybe it's
Uh,
like has like one little reference actually, in like at the end of volume. It's like basically, yeah. And apparently this was a big thing in the 90s in Japan. Was super into like the theories of Nostradamus.
yeah, I was, I liked how,
Apparently, I don't know.
yeah, as you're reading it, she's like, you know, the philosophy of how the king will come down. I was like, what are you talking about? That's so funny that it doesn't come back. Okay.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I assume it probably makes references later as well, and the title "Destroy All Humans" is a reference to the fact that they think the world's going to end in 1999.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah, good old Y2K. Love that.
yeah.
But how did you find the plot in general? How did you find the book in general? What are your
I,
thoughts on this book?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was like a fun little take on like I think it hits a very good line between staying like as a realistic like take on like just playing Magic the Gathering while also being like anime over the top, people calling out their moves and like sweating profusely. But it's kind of funny because like Magic kind of leads itself to like people taking a 5 minute monologue to think all of their thoughts before they play the next card. Like,
Yes. So I guess magic really is like an anime. Yeah.
yeah.
We're living that ultimate weeaboo life.
Oh yeah.
As we are the protagonist. Yikes. But that's true that the over dramatization doesn't feel too out of place.
No.
And it's
Eh, And like I
fun.
do think it actually hit some pretty decent marks on like what it's like to the first time you enter an actual Magic store. And like it's like a great one in volume 2 they go out to their first like big like travel to their first tournament, and like there's like some fun little stuff about like yeah this is what it's like the first time you go to a Magic the Gathering tournament. And like a fun
Wow.
little note they have is they have the main guy play one of his friends in the first round because that's just apparently something that always happens to everyone. Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering tournaments, you travel to a tournament and immediately play your someone you know.
Yeah, despite there being like
Which fun
hundreds of
fact
other
happened to
people.
us at our first Magic the Gathering pre-release.
Oh, I
Our
forgot
first round was
about
against each other.
what popcorn what was that M15?
No, it was M10.
M10. Yikes.
Yeah,
How long have we wow, there
the
you go.
M
15 years, like you said.
yeah the M10 pre-release.
Yeah,
Played each other in the first round.
that's so funny. I don't remember. I remember where that was, but I
Yep.
think the thing I remember the most is that I had Time Warp in my deck. I think that I don't remember anything else about that pre-release other than I had a time warp,
I
which
think he went like 3-1.
yeah, I think it was off the back of time warp because that card is a mistake.
Yeah.
At a pre-release, it's kind of busted to take an extra turn. Uh,
Uh,
but that's so funny. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of positive nostalgia I got out of this, despite not playing specifically in the 80s,
Also,
because
90s for the record. So this is
oh,
set
it is
in
based in the
nine.
night.
It's
Oh,
right before Exodus comes out because actually Magic didn't come out. Fun fact: I am the same age as Magic the Gathering. I am
wow, there
I
you
am two
go.
years 2 months older than Magic the Gathering.
Wow. Wait,
Um,
and is it almost Magic's birthday? No, Magic birthday just happened.
no, Magic came out in like August or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, you're 2 months the other way. My
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah,
Okay, got it. Okay, we
yeah,
got some time then. Uh, but it was nice reading this, and even though we weren't playing during that early in the 90s, yeah, if we didn't start until M10, so 2010, but uh, it was cool to see that excitement while you're not doing well just because you like the cards and you think
yeah,
you're doing great. And it reminded me of a simpler time before I got super competitive and
yeah,
have to try and like optimize and spike everything and go lose the joy to some. It's still fun, but the fun is no longer like I like this fun little deck I have. It's like
yeah,
no, I'm having fun because I understand how to find the right through line and win.
yeah,
So it was a simpler. It reminded me of a simpler time,
yeah,
which I appreciated. Playing black because you think it's fun.
yeah.
It's just the color you want to do. Whereas
Yeah. Oh, it's
Emmy,
like good God, the days of like picking a specific color. It's like no, you play the best color. Like
yeah,
both of us
what's
are at
the
the
meta telling you to
what's the
do?
meta telling you to play, or we're drafting, so it's like find the lane. Like yeah,
And here we go into Magic Ease.
yeah, oh, yeah,
There
right.
you go. It was
Oh damn it,
inevitable.
it was inevitable.
Meta, aka the meta game, which is just
Yeah.
what's popular, what's best.
Also,
And
like
then,
even colors. Magic has 5 colors.
oh
That's
yeah,
a it's
that's
like
true.
thing that you might not realize if you yeah
Yeah, good point.
yeah
And then drafting just being a format where you open cards and
yeah.
you build the deck based out of the cards you open instead of bringing the ones that you already own. There you go. Look at it. We're just helping.
Explaining.
We're just helping to contribute to this thesaurus of this dictionary of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And teaching on the go. This podcast plus destroy humans that can't be regenerated, and you'll have a good snapshot on how to play Magic. But talking about the characters, so that's Kanu is more of this like I'm fresh in it. I'm the kid of my middle school,
Yeah.
or no high school. I didn't or
Middle school. It's middle
middle
school. But remember,
school.
Japan is like a little weird on. So you're in middle school until you're 15.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's about him like crashing in his middle school, and then when he goes somewhere else, he's not as good. And then you have Emmy, who I guess Emmy is already pretty sweaty. Sweaty being like hardcore, like trying to
Yeah.
win. That's what that
Oh
term
yeah.
means, to be clear. That she's already on that boat. On
Yeah.
that boat.
But I find it nice that she's like not actually like she's good. She's really good, but she's also still kind of a newbie.
Yeah, that's true. I also really I like these characters. I think they read as middle schoolers, which I don't think is the easiest thing to do. But
Yeah.
boy, do they ever read as like cringy middle schoolers. Like Emmy trying to be like, do you ever think about the end of the world? I want you to be there. I was like, cringe. Like that's perfect middle schooler
Yeah.
nonsense cringe. Same with Ken like yelling about how yeah, black is a man's color or whatever. It's like, so cringe. But that's exactly what that's like. So I
Yeah,
said it was
that's what
based
you're
on
like.
you.
That's what you're like when you're 14.
Yeah, exactly. They don't hold back, which makes it great. And then you have your fun side characters in the card shop because that's just kind of what happens in a card
Yeah.
shop. You have the regulars.
Yeah, you just randomly make friends with a bunch of people you like would never in any other context.
Yeah. And they're always really interesting. Not in like a mean way, but people that, as someone that goes to Magic the Gathering, previously went to Magic the Gathering shops, I feel like I'm allowed to say that as a community, we're generally weird people.
Oh yeah, as someone who still goes to Magic, the guy, I guess to let the world know, Shane's very good at Magic the Gathering, but doesn't have with the way he is currently, mostly plays online, whereas I still go out to shops and stuff. So
That's yeah, I am hooked on that mobile game life. Yeah. So it's that does make up a whenever you're like, man, Shane doesn't watch a lot of visual media. That's probably because I'm just playing Magic the Gathering. Because it turns out that when you have to be living your life, your free time in 10 minutes at a time, it's easier to have a mobile game than to try and deal with watching a show in 4 parts to get through a 20-minute show, which
yeah.
I've done if I have to, but I don't love it. But I appreciate you saying I'm good at it. I like to think so too. I mean, I
Yes.
have
Well,
also
I think
I am
to
technically
go objectively, you have the bit more successes in both of our histories of playing Magic.
that's true. I get it, but I also do benefit from there being an online ranking system that does tell me I am very high in the community.
Yes, which
Uh,
absolutely.
I will
But
take it.
like both of us have like done decently. Both of us have like made top 250 on
Hmm.
Arena, and both of us have like top aided not huge events, but like decent sized events and stuff.
Yeah, big
But
enough.
yeah,
But that's yeah.
yeah. But you're the one you top aided Sunday Super Series.
There you go. But yeah,
That's probably your biggest success.
yeah. That's I'll take it. That's my biggest success in life was
Not in
through a lot
life,
of
just in
that.
Magic.
Just that's I appreciate that. Um, so there you go. We're both a little bit like Hajime Kanu. I can't. I mean, maybe you're like Hajime. I guess I'm kind of like Emmy. That's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I'll,
kind of.
I'll take that. I could see some ways like I was like that in high school. I was as explicit about my nerdiness.
Yeah, honestly, it
Um,
actually kind of fits how close we are to the two main characters.
that's pretty funny. But yeah, well, I like that.
No
That's
wonder I
pretty.
enjoyed this.
There you go. Yeah, it was weird. I think it was just that I was really battling the whole time of like, how did this happen? How am I reading this? How is
Yeah,
this a real thing? But no, I mean, I would be curious to read on as well. The art itself, always worth mentioning the art. It's your classic manga art. It's nothing spectacular, but
yeah,
there's some fun
yeah. I think
stuff.
it's got some really like striking like line work and stuff. Like good
Hmm.
use of like, yeah, negative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's also some like cool creative parts when you're dealing with some Magic the Gathering cards and like the
yeah,
Armageddon page is cool to
yeah.
look
And
at
it's
and
kind of funny too. They have like just direct scans of the
the
cards.
cards. Yeah. I mean, that's a bit, I'm glad they did that. I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, that it really is. There's no fictional element. It's really just like
yep.
non-fiction Magic the Gathering to some degree, which is pretty funny. Um, so how did this happen, Spence? Coming to the point of this, how did this
I
get
legitimately
put
don't
together?
know. Like I'm very happy it did, but like
Hmm.
I guess just some guy was like, I want to write. Like I said, trading card games are huge in Japan.
Hmm.
Magic's kind of unique in the fact they don't have a like tie-in anime, manga, or whatever to go with it. Like most, like Yu-Gi-Oh is obviously the most famous one, but like basically most of them have some kind of like tie-in for all the big Japanese card games. So I think someone, I don't know, it really feels like it was written by someone who like gets Magic and like was playing Magic in the 90s. So I've got
Yeah.
to imagine someone just either like a manga writer was just like, yo, I want to make a Magic manga, and Wizards or whoever was just like, sure, go for it. Let's see if it's successful. And people latched on, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's also worth throwing it. So it is signed off on by Wizards of the
Oh,
Coast,
100%.
which is pretty
It,
cool
it
because
is
they are
an official
notorious
Magic product.
and they are
Magic product.
famously extremely defensive of their IP. So,
Yes, yes, they are.
the fact that again another obstacle that somehow this got made,
Yeah,
despite Magic being aggressively anti-creativity with their IP, is also shocking.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, good on the writer for really committing to it. And yeah,
yeah.
just not
Right.
feeling
I
shy
guess we
about
should say it. Yeah, Katsura Issei. That's the writer's name.
yeah,
We
Katsura
don't have to.
say
Yeah,
for not being shy about just like the complexity of the game, not trying to simplify it, just swinging for the fences on this one. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, maybe if you're reading this, you're like, I don't understand, maybe that's what'll inspire you, is you want to understand what's happening in the manga. So you get into Magic the Gathering
Yeah.
and you fall down the rabbit hole of,
Good God, is
uh,
it a rabbit hole?
oh boy. Would I recommend someone pick up Magic the Gathering? Hard to say. Probably not. It's, I think it's rewarding if you have the time to put
Yeah.
into it, but
And, and the hardest part of always is the best way to learn Magic the Gathering is with other people trying to learn Magic the Gathering. So just trying to
mm,
pick it up on your own is just another level of challenge that I don't want to,
yeah,
I could never imagine doing.
don't put that on someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like the best way to learn is like if you got a friend who's also sounds like they want to earn, go buy one of those two-player starter decks and see if you enjoy it. That's the
mhm.
easiest way to play.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun way to put because that's again, I think that's what this ties back into, is that this is a really cute, fun story that really goes back to like the simpler fun times of magic, of like experiencing Magic the Gathering like as a community thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought, yeah, I'd probably read more of this. It was interesting. It was not particularly deep. It's like a very base rom-com plot, like the most simplified possible. I think that just the most interesting part of it is the magic part. It's just so wild.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's funny to now know that the whole like destroy all humans, end of the world part just like falls off. I would be curious if it comes back in the future. That was the other
I've
reason
got
I
to
would want to
imagine
keep
it
reading.
because also like every volume comes with a like special magic card.
Hmm.
And the last volumes is Wrath of God. So I wonder if that means anything.
Does it wait, is it over?
Yeah,
Did
so
they
it's finished in Japan, but like
what?
not anywhere close. Like, yeah, like we're three volumes in. I think four comes out,
Oh, we're way behind.
yeah, next month, something like that. Yeah, we're
Wait,
way
so
behind.
if I come in to get the volume at your store, do you get promo cards?
Oh,
No.
yeah, it's like yeah. Because it's like so it's okay. It's only for the first printing of the thing that still has the promo card. So I still have first printings
Okay.
of two and three. I do not my volume ones are no longer first printing.
Okay. Wow. So if you want to get in on that promo card action,
Yeah, it's a shot.
uh,
They're not great cards so far, but you know, the later ones are better. It's volume two is volume one was Cruel Edict, volume two was Shock, and volume three is Duress.
those are staples though. So you know, and know what's great?
Duresses.
They were reprint, but those wait, was
Yeah, I know.
Shock reprinted in Foundations? I know Duress is.
I don't think Shock was, but yeah,
Poor Shock.
yeah, I
But
know. Shock's been
uh,
kind of outclassed.
that's
Yeah,
true.
once again, really into deep magic keys with this one.
That's fine.
But I guess also they were picking cards that are like still relevant, like are appeared in the era but are still relevant to
Mm, smart.
Magic now.
They know what they're doing. But
Yeah, like Duress is like a classic. That card has been in. Well, like I think I remember a theory was once that it's probably the card that was played in the most Pro Tours. That's not a basic land because it's just been in so much Magic and it's always
mm,
been decently good.
that's fine that there has to be a theory about it and that it's not like a known stat. But
Oh, who wants to crunch all those numbers?
yeah, that sounds like too much work for very little reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Magic the Gathering in a nutshell. Too much work for very little reward. But all that to say, I'm curious, would you recommend Astral Humans That Can't Be Regenerated to a Magic the Gathering fan and B, not a Magic the Gathering fan?
Number one, unquestionably. I think if you're into Magic, this is you're gonna have a great time with this.
Mhm.
Number two, yeah, I don't know about that.
It's a harder sell. Yeah. I think I would say the same. I think that if you're into Magic, this is a fun, cool read, especially even whether or not you played during that era. I think it gives you some insights into that era as well, which is pretty interesting to see that as well. But yeah, I don't know. If you're not into Magic, I wouldn't. There's other materials. There's other
Yeah.
content. This one's fun if you're curious about it, but yeah, you really got to know what's happening in Magic. They move fast.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
because it's like one of the fun things about it is like specific. It's set in a specific era, and as the manga goes on, those eras like keep going. So
wait,
like,
this shows them like growing up. Wait,
yeah,
whoa,
oh yeah, well, because
whoa.
we got to end at 99, right? End at the end of the world.
Oh, I see what's happening here.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so like we have the release of Exodus in this one. And like volume 3, I guess going into spoilers, but it's like Urza's block and volume 3 ends with like a super it's like halfway through a super dramatic battle, and the guy he's playing against is like the first guy is the guy to discover how broken Urza's block is. He's like to Claren Academy and stuff.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I mean, yeah, again, deep into the magic stuff,
Yeah.
but there you go. If anything, if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know if I follow and understand any of this or have the interest in doing that, that's your way to know whether or not you should read this. If this podcast was already too much magic ease for you, don't do
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
Don't read this. But if not, go check out Destroy Humans. They can't be regenerated.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid recommendation direction. And yeah, if you also haven't played Magic the Gathering and you read this, go onto Instagram, drop a
Yeah.
comment. Let me know what
Let us know,
let
because
us
good
know.
God, I'd be interested to know what you get out of it.
Yeah, is this any good? If you haven't read Magic or haven't played Magic, is this any good? Drop us a comment on Instagram. Would love to hear from you. Uh, but yeah, moving into part two.
But
What?
actually, no, like, can we
Oh,
make
before we
one
move forward,
one random thought I had?
important, go for it.
Yeah, just did you watch the anime or read the manga for High Score? I know you didn't read the manga. Did you watch the anime for one called High Score Girl? It was on Netflix at one point, like 5 years ago or so.
I think I tried the first episode and it was not for me.
Yeah, just because it's just kind of funny because they're functionally the same story, both of
Oh, there you go.
them. They're both set in the 90s. They're both about like one kid who's like way too into fighting games in this case, Magic in that one. They have the girl who's like really good at them, but also like her home life like doesn't let her fully embrace it. And then
Hmm.
like later they add a third girl who has blonde hair. It's really funny. Like the parallels are like virtually identical.
You know, it's also super weird that
Yeah.
I'm just taking a look here. It came out July 14th, 2018. Destroy All Humans' first run came out November 26th, 2018. So
Oh.
they also came out like literally like 4 months apart.
Wow. So I guess they're just something for nostalgic yeah,
That's for
nostalgic.
the Netflix series, not the
Oh, okay.
manga. The manga came out earlier. So manga of High Score Girl does win.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
one came
okay.
out in 2010. So
Oh yeah.
there you go. Then therefore you are sus destroy humans that can't be regenerated. But I mean, I guess it goes hard enough into the magic part that you can't claim copyright. And what's
Yeah.
the does anyone make original content anymore these days? Yada yada, blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a good little segue into other shows, other things. Spence, what other content have you been enjoying the past 4 weeks? Any movies, TV shows, games, or books that have stood out for you in this long period of time?
Yeah, well,
Lots of options.
lots have
What is
happened.
what's worth mentioning?
Yeah, that's the big thing. There's so much as so I saw the new Mission Impossible, good movie.
Mission Impossible 8?
Eight, yes, the eighth Mission Impossible.
Wow, I can't believe I guessed that right.
Yeah. My theory holds up till the because apparently this is supposed to be the last one. And my the way it's worked so far, I've always considered the Mission Impossible movies in order of quality is it's the even numbered movies in ascending order, followed by the odd numbered movies in descending order.
That's very confusing.
I know.
So, so you're saying Mission Impossible
But
2
two
is
is
the
the
best
best, then
Mission
four, then
Impossible?
six, then eight, then seven, then five, then three, then one.
That's good. I feel like you must be biased though,
Well,
that you
my
want
bias is the Mission
your
Impossible 2.
system to work.
Well, and also my bias is I think Mission Impossible 2 is like the greatest action movie of all time.
I
That
don't.
is not a popular opinion, but the other people are wrong.
Okay, I like the confidence. I don't remember. I haven't seen all the bit. I think I've watched up to like maybe three, maybe four, but that was also decades and decades ago, back when
Yeah.
closer to when they came out.
Yeah.
The
Well, the first
only
one came out in
thing
1996, so that should tell you how long this franchise has been going for.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully I didn't watch it around when it came out because I was five, so
Yeah,
it wouldn't be good.
you definitely didn't.
But
But
yeah, I remember the
I
lasers in the
recall
first
seeing
one.
Mission Impossible 3 with you, so that was probably
The,
the first one you saw in
which
theaters.
is the one where he's running and there's doves and he uses the doves for cover.
That's two.
Okay.
So,
I don't
yeah, you
remember.
understand why it's the best one ever.
I don't remember anything about Mission Impossible other than the lasers in the first one because that's very famous, and the Dove Run in Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Those are the only two things I have any recollection about for Mission.
I was wondering if you're gonna say what's the one where he runs, and it'd be like, no, that's all of them.
That's all of them. That's famously his big thing. Okay, so Mission Impossible 8, middle of the road.
No, it's
Uh,
actually still really good. Like
okay.
it's kind of got like I do think the Mission Impossible movies are overall very good. So
Mhm.
even the lower ones, except Mission Impossible One, I find that one is very. I'm very glad I watched Mission Impossible 2 before I watched one back as a kid. I
Hmm.
don't think I ever would have watched two if I'd watched one first.
Ooh, there you go. So if you haven't watched the series before, there's your hot tip. Watch
Yeah.
two. Spencer, you up to then watch any other and decide whether or not Spencer's right or wrong about it being the best one.
Yeah.
Hot takes on Long
Yeah.
Comics Book Club.
Honestly, I think six would be the one to go with for the most like emblematic of Mission Impossible.
Wow, yeah, that's nowhere near what I've seen. But
Yeah, that's the one with
hmm.
Henry Cavill where he reloads his fists.
I have no idea about the words that you're saying right now. I'm
Yeah.
familiar with Henry Cavill. I didn't know he
Yeah,
was in Mission Impossible.
yeah, and there's a famous moment in one of them where he like reloads his fists and it looks hilarious, but it's also so cool.
Okay. All right. Well, now I'm curious. I guess maybe I'll watch. I think the challenge with Mission Impossible depends on your ability to stomach Tom Cruise. I was gonna say Thomas
Yeah,
Cruise. But
yeah,
yeah,
fair.
good old T Cruise. You know,
He's a
he's a guy.
character.
He is a
Yep.
person. He is a person who does action movies. All right. I mean, speaking of action, I only have one thing. Shockingly, I have had the time to watch one thing over 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Not even finished. I have, for some reason, decided to watch Blue Lock, the anime.
Uh-huh.
If you're
Oh,
not
very
familiar,
popular.
yeah, if you're not familiar with Blue Lock, it's soccer, the Hunger Games, but people don't die. Just you get
Yeah.
eliminated from this soccer training facility to find the best soccer striker in the world.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like it's like try to be like we're the anti you know how classic sports anime is all about like power of friendship? Blue
mhm,
Lock is like no
the
friends
power
allowed.
of the ego, but then
Yeah.
he does make friends,
I
so it
know.
doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, what am I? I'm like 8 episodes in. I'll just watch it through, but I don't understand why it's so popular. This is just like,
I've never watched it either. I know we sell a lot of Blue Lock volumes at the store, so
oh,
yeah.
that's so interesting. It's just, I mean, we're just throwing out our hot takes of Mission Impossible too. Blue Lock is just worse Kuroko no Basket.
Mm.
Uh, but I mean, I'm sure essentially most sports anime have to deal with being compared to Kuroko because of the size of that one. But
Yeah.
it's because it's like again in Blue Lock they have like soccer superpowers or their like special power thing, and it doesn't. It's so weird because there's only it's just like the same thing over and over. Whereas Kuroko no Basket was like very clever about how each of the stars sort of had their specific thing they were extremely good at.
Right. And
Um,
the main guy, how he's like not even that. He just like does it's yeah, that was weird.
I love that. I love that about Kuroko. I love the structuring of that anime. It had its pacing challenges, as many of the animes of those times did, but I think that one's a that one's a slam dunk in
Which
terms. Do you get it? Do you
both a
get it? It's a
reference.
yeah.
Yeah.
I nailed that one.
And also that was the original basketball anime was called that too.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Slam
The
dunk.
original one without super. I assume they didn't have superpowers.
No, I think they did in that one actually. And
Nah.
I've never watched it. Probably like it
Pretty
is like
funny.
truly a classic. It's one of the like seminal sports anime periods. But yeah, I've never
Wow.
watched it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's something that's really interesting about Haikyuu, the volleyball one, is they don't specifically have like superpowers. They have stuff that they're good at, but it's not like in Kuroko no Basket where the ultimate guy can like dribble in a way that makes everybody fall over.
Yeah. So
uh,
who's I just remember Slam Dunk was done by a famous guy who did something else. Right, he went on to do Vagabond.
I don't.
Ah. Oh, okay, yeah. Vagabond's like Berserk?
I do.
Yeah, so but Vagabond's like the when we're talking about like that kind of manga, like that kind of like deep, mature, ridiculously good art.
Hmm.
Those are like Vagabond and Berserk are like the two high points of that.
Hmm. Interesting. I mean, Berserk's a big name.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's always, who knows, maybe in the future. No, I can't imagine us doing Berserk.
No,
That's
you
another
specifically
volume
said there
one.
was some stuff you wanted to not do, and Berserk is all of
Berserk is
tr
all
tr
of the things. Yeah.
yeah, trigger warning Berserk, all of the triggers. I know that's
All
like a
the
joke, but
triggers.
like actually all of the triggers are in
Yeah.
Berserk.
There we go. Good old geez Louise. Okay. Well, that's what's nice about this week's was really accessible in terms
Yeah,
of safety. But
yeah.
um anything else you want to throw here at the end? Any last go out and watch this, play this, read this?
Um, yeah, no, not really.
Nothing jumping out.
Yeah, no, nothing jump. I guess, yeah, I've been playing the 2016 Doom game. It's a fun one.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I'm like 10 years late to the party on this one,
Yeah,
but
why now?
I don't know. Just I felt like let's find a like I felt like, I've been playing a lot of more strategy games. Like let's just shoot stuff. And good
Hmm.
God, is Doom a shooting? Do you ever
Yeah.
shoot stuff in Doom?
I love that I was gonna say the description of Doom is like guy goes to hell and shoots demons. And
Yeah.
that there's not really a plot. That's just kind of what you do.
No, yeah, no. Man, yeah, man too angry to die just needs to kill demons.
Yeah, it just goes to hell and shoots all that he would love that. Well, that's very fun. That's a very, yeah, nice departure from just strategy all the time.
Yeah.
Could it be a further departure from the strategy?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Doom, it's like reloading requires too much forethought.
yeah. No, all you need is one trigger. That's all
Yeah,
you need.
you just need to aim and shoot.
No, that's
Aim and
very
shoot. That's
funny.
all there is to
That's all there is.
it.
So I'd say that we're now just winding down towards the end of the episode. So of course, Spence, you need to introduce what's next on the reading docket. So what do the fine folks at home and I get to look forward to reading next?
Okay, once again, we'll be going back to the graphic novels, and we've been
Hmm.
doing we did a classic Alan Moore one for our last one. So let's go by the other class famous writer from the 80s. We'll be doing a Frank Miller one with Batman Year One.
Oh, Frank Miller. I know for Sin City
Yep.
and probably other stuff, but Sin City is the one that jumps right away. But Batman Year One.
Yes. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
because
how is
this.
that possible? He doesn't become Batman until he's like seven. Bado.
Oh goodness. Yeah, yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, but yeah, Frank Miller's did Sin City, The Dark Knight Returns, Ronin, his run of Daredevil, super famous. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to look. And yeah, Batman Year One. It's like one of the most important set Batman to be what Batman is like seen as in a modern era.
Which is saying a lot because Batman has a lot of reputation and a lot of name power behind him.
Oh yeah,
So
but it's
to
crazy to think about. Like, I don't know if you want to think about this when you're reading it, but at this point, Batman really didn't when this graphic novel came out.
oh, when is this from?
This is from I think it was 87. So this is that little
Whoa.
like dark age for Batman, where after the original television show came out, and before the Michael Keaton movie, where things
Oh.
like people still remembered Batman because the television show was one of the biggest ones on television, and its comics were still going out. But it was like, oh yeah, Batman. I remember that when I was a kid. It wasn't like the cultural
Phenomenon that it is
phenomenon that
now.
it has been for the last almost 50 years now.
Hmm. Wait, okay, wow. Yeah, interesting. That was wild because you were like the 80s. I was like, that wasn't 50 years ago. It's like, no, it
No,
was
yeah, 1985 is
40,
50 years ago. Or no, 20 years
no,
ago.
40 years ago.
30 years ago. Yes. Okay, so the
Yeah,
last 40 years of Batman's been a cultural
there you
phenomenon.
go. The last 40 years, that's still a very long, impressive amount of time. So
Yeah.
there you go. Frank Miller, Batman Year One. I assume it's not like a volume one situation.
No,
That's
no,
just,
this is gives an entire yeah.
yeah, in case you haven't noticed, it's much easier to have one-shot stories of graphic novels The manga we keep reading do tend to just be volume one of longer series.
Yeah. And also that's partially for your sake because I know you're very busy right now, and a lot of the one-shot mangas are massive.
Well, maybe we'll foray into a longer one coming up
Oh,
here.
no, no doubt we eventually will. But for now, with your being more busy,
For now,
I don't want to
yeah,
drop the 600-page tomes on you yet.
I appreciate that. We'll approach that. Yeah, until our poor listeners, you have 2 weeks. Go read 600 pages. But hey, who knows, listeners? Maybe you get to try and tear through that in the same way I do. But
Yeah,
you don't also have the pressure of them releasing a podcast, so you can also pace yourself and then catch up once you're done.
basically.
But fortunately, Batman Year One, not one of those. But I'm excited. I am a Batman fan, so I mean, who isn't though, really, at
Yeah.
this point?
Also,
So
we've gotten 10 episodes and haven't done Batman yet. What's with
there you
that?
go. Yeah, we've done a Superman. Shout out to Superman's birthday coming up
Yeah.
in a few weeks. But yeah, let's go for the other big DC. Yeah, it's a big DC stand, so that's probably why we're
Yes.
hitting the big.
To be fair, I love Marvel too, but I do love DC a little more.
Yeah. So of course, if you're also wanting to read Batman Year One, you can check that out at VesperiaComics.com for pickup at Vesperia Manga and Comics. If you're in the lower mainland of beautiful British Columbia, or you can also order that for Canada-wide shipping. But of course, we also realize that buying a new book every 2 weeks isn't always financially viable for everyone, so consider inviting a friend to split costs or borrowing the book from a friend or local library if it's available. And that's it for episode number 10, the big double digits of the Long Comics Book Club. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow our Blue Sky and Instagram for updates, as well as drop us some comments on there, letting us know your thoughts on Destroy All Humans. They Can't Be Regenerated. Again, if you didn't play Magic the Gathering and read this, please tell us
Yeah,
how it goes.
I would be so
I'm
curious.
so curious. Yeah, the people need to know. Or otherwise, follow along and let us know what you think of Batman Year One in advance of the June 21st podcast. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
It'll come out
yeah.
on time. I swear. Fingers crossed that I will talk to you then. Bye bye.
See ya.